Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to show you how to put columns into your CSS weblab project. So here we have our Leaving Cert computer science website broken down into 6 headings for the report, and I'm going to look at one of the pages, and if I wanted to put columns into that page to break it up and make it a bit more professional looking, I can do that in CSS. So I'm going to pop over. So I'm in the evaluation page here as an example. And what I might do is I might put everything under the evaluation of an artifact down to here, just before further developments, into columns. So let's see what we could do there. So under evaluation of an artifact, I'm going to set up a div. And I'm going to set up a class. And so evaluation. And just make sure you close your tag. And I'm going to divide that up the whole way down just before this heading here, future developments of the artifact. So I'm going to close my div just before that. And I'm going to set up a new div. And I'm going to say class. And this one I'm going to call it future. So once you remember the name of it to call on it in the CSS, it'll be fine. And then I just need to close that div. So I have 2 sections. One under my H1 here. And I'm actually going to move this one below this heading here. And that will leave this heading, then 3 columns, then the future developments heading, and then I could do 1 or 2 columns, 3 columns, whatever we can see. So I'm going to go over to my CSS file. I'm going to start by coding .evaluation. And I'm going to say column count, and you can decide, say 3 for example, semicolon. Then I can decide on my column gap. And you could say 50 if you wanted. And then column rule. And I'm going to say the 4px. So this would be like the border around it. I could have a double. And I can put in a color in there if I want. So I'll put in black and I'll show you how to change it then. I'll put in my semicolon. And if I refresh that, and just spell it correctly. So there I have it split into 3 columns. So you can decide if that's something that you like. You may want to edit it a little bit more. You may want to put your reflection points. Maybe you want to divide it and leave this part not in a column, then put your 3 reflection points in a column. Let's edit it and see. So if I go back to my HTML file and I decide to take that first paragraph out of my div, out of my columns. So I'm going to go back to my evaluation in my HTML. And I'm going to move that div for evaluation under the first paragraph. And see, does it look a little bit better? And it does. Now you can still edit that paragraph later. You can still do something else to that. You could put in a bit of padding to the top or the bottom or the left or right. You can change that if you wish. And we're going to go ahead now and just put some columns on under this heading here, the future developments. So we have our div set up for that. We set up a div under that heading called future. So I'm just going to go to my CSS file. I'm going to say dot future, and I'm going to copy this code rather than retyping it. So I've just put in, and this time I'm going to just have a look at 2 columns, and I'm going to refresh and save and open it up. So it doesn't look brilliant having 3 and then 2 on the same page, but I'm just doing a demonstration. You would probably set up those on different pages like that. If you were putting them in, I would suggest go with the same kind of idea the whole way across. But it's up to you to decide. It is your web page, it is your Leaving Cert project. You can absolutely organize it whatever way you want. Just going to show you how to put in the bits of padding around it. So if you wanted to go padding left, say I'm in the dot future, so I'm in this part down here. You could say padding to the left 50 px, padding to the right 50 px, refresh and save and see how it looks. So it brings it in slightly here, slightly here. You could do the same above. Again, if you're going with 3, go 3 for the whole page. If you're going with 2, go for 2 for the whole page. It just looks a little bit less like a newspaper, more like a website. So that's how you do it. That's how you change it around. So you could change your colors. I would suggest stick with the colors from your home screen. So my home page in this case has this image here. That image is, when I click on my image in my JPEG, it pulls out the strongest colors in it. This is the same color I'm using for the nav bar. Perhaps it would be a nice idea to style my columns with that shade. Just copy and paste in the hashtag number. And if I go into my evaluation, I can see that these have changed in here. So they don't have to be black. They don't have to be a double border either. You can change that in your CSS by just changing the name from double to solid, and that's what it looks like here. So it becomes a solid color over here. There's lots of different color borders you can have. If you look it up on W3 Schools, you'll see here that you can have dotted, dashed, solid, grooved, ridge, inset, outset, none, or hidden. So you can decide on that whatever way you like to style it. Just to show you the dotted. That's what you're looking at. Okay, so you can decide on all of that yourselves. Again, just doing a demonstration so you can decide on the design of your entire web page. These are just ideas. I'll leave you with that. The best of luck. Thank you.